Okay, next we have Taryn Rothstein. Taryn was referred to the call for submissions by her friend Catherine, who read earlier, and I love friend referrals, so I'm really glad she submitted, and you're going to love her story. Her bio, Taryn Rothstein is a writer by passion and a nanny by paycheck. You can find her buying 12 shades of red lipstick, reading Rebecca Snolt, and hanging out on her sister's couch. She lives in East Harlem. Here's Taryn.
I'm not allowed to have a TV in my room. Sometimes I creep into Shelby's room, hands and knees, the scratch of mint green carpet on my fingers, and sit crisscrossed on the floor next to her bed. She looks down at me and I smile. If she's in a good mood, she laughs and lets me stay. We sit and watch Roseanne for hours. In the morning, during the school year, if I make it downstairs fast enough, and before Shelby, and before my twin brothers, but they're only in preschool so they don't have to wake up as early as we do, I get to pick the channel. Our kitchen TV is mounted above the table at the bottom of a big chestnut staircase, which echoes your footsteps as you barrel down it. I grab the white remote about the size of my tiny hand and try to choose between Little Bill and Power Rangers. Shelby really hates Little Bill, and I'm not mad at her right now, so I put on Power Rangers. I decide I'm the Yellow Ranger, and I kick so much butt, and all the Boy Rangers have secret crushes on me. I don't even look at my mother, but I know she's there, the sun behind a cloud. No verification needed. She makes me 3 silver dollar-sized microwave pancakes, dense and sticky, covered in Aunt Jemima's syrup. In 2nd grade, you don't know Aunt Jemima's picture is racist. Mom sets it down in front of me with the same cup of chocolate milk I drink every morning. I only see her out of the corner of my eye, focusing on many flashing lights from the Rangers fighting on the screen above me. I become so addicted to powdered chocolate Nesquik that Mom brings it on road trips so I can have it every morning no matter where we go. Mom goes into her room, throws her sweatpants and oversized t-shirt into the laundry bin, and gets ready for the gym. She digs out a pair of black ankle stretch pants and navy blue sports bra, a large t-shirt of some 80s band with the sleeves cut off, and thick white socks. She does this in the dark so my father can keep sleeping. She wears a bandana tied around her head to hold back her shoulder-length ruby hair. Her body curves like soft ripples in a lake. She's always pulling out her shirt to cover the size of her stomach, hips, and bottom, but to me, this is what a woman looks like. Shelby sits on the chair next to mine, eating peanut butter toast and water. The Pink Ranger takes off her helmet. I realize she's prettier than the Yellow Ranger. I'm the Pink Ranger, Shelby says. No, I want to be the Pink Ranger. I quickly abandon the Yellow Ranger. I'm the Pink Ranger, you are the Yellow Ranger. She is firm, and my silence concedes for me. The hospital smells like dirty skin and chemicals. I'm hoping all the nurses and doctors would look like Grey's Anatomy characters. I truly actually think that will happen. I got addicted to watching it with Shelby the summer before my freshman year of college, and having never spent time in a hospital before Mom got sick, this was my only basis of life in the medical world. I envisioned steamy doctors pulling med students into on-call rooms while the rest of the students gossiped about it. There's one episode where the main character, Meredith Grey, has her estranged father as a patient and finds out he needs a liver transplant, except he used to be an alcoholic, and there are rules that prohibit you from receiving a new organ if you haven't been sober for at least a year. Mom's been sober for about 25 years? Yeah, that sounds right. It was before Shelby was born, so she should be okay. I look up. The bright lights are giving me a headache, and the nurse is repeating something to me, but I can't hear him. He puts his hand on my mother's bed, trying to wheel her away. My younger brothers are standing there with backpacks on. 2 black backpacks completely full. What could they possibly have packed? It looks like they're going to sleepaway camp. The longer I stare at them, the bigger they seem to get. Honey, we have to take her into surgery now. The anesthesia is affecting her. Muffled, fuzzy. I look down at my blue Converses. The scuffs on them match the scuffs on the hospital floor. I inhale deeply. Ma'am, the muffled voice is getting clearer and louder. Ma'am, we are taking her away now. I realize he's talking to me. What? No, you aren't. I see gripping the end of the bed. The cold rails giving me conviction. Just hold on 1 second. Just wait. I pull my phone out from my pocket, scroll through my recent calls, and hit Shelby. Ringing. Hi, we're almost there. We just parked. She's echoing from the parking garage, and I can hear Dad in the background say, tell them to wait. Shell, they're trying to take her into surgery. You have to be here right now. We're like 9 floors down. Tell them to wait. We're running. I'm hanging up. Make them wait. She's panting. She had to come home from college, a 3.5-hour drive. And then Dad went and picked her up from the house. But my school is in Chapel Hill, only 10 minutes from Duke Hospital, so I was the first one here when Mom got the call, before my parents, and I paced around the gift store for a half hour but forgot to buy anything. My eyes focus on the male nurse and his gold watch, his hand still on her hospital bed. Sir, my father and my sister will be here in 1 minute. They are in the hospital. You have got to wait. You have to wait for them, please. He wants to say no. Okay, I'll go speak to the surgeon and I'll be right back. We have to take her in the next 5 minutes, though, sweetie. Sweetie. My hand is still on the phone, staring at my purse on the floor next to the bed. Shelby gave me this one after she wore it down. It's ugly maroon, fraying around the seams. I stare at it and think I should probably buy a new one, but I hate spending money on bags. The fraying maroon seams fill my eyes. I blink and reach forward to pick it up. I hear my brothers crying, standing near my mother's face, but none of us are speaking. She's loopy. She tries to keep her eyes open. Her toes are numb, her knees are numb, or maybe she never feels her knees. Her thighs, hips, and belly are water. She's made of water. She's melting into the bed. She tries again to open her eyes. They fix on me for a moment, her irises of green. Her green is my green, and they close. If I say goodbye now, it'll be like saying goodbye to a toddler who's being carried off to bed. Doesn't count. Her red hair is falling over her drooping eyes, and she looks sad, but I'm frozen. No words come out of my mouth. I look around for an adult to comfort my brothers and realize I am the adult. Minutes are hours, or it's all frozen. I feel like I can't breathe. I pull out my phone. 2 minutes have passed, so I call Shelby again. She doesn't answer. Beads of clear sweat form on my upper lip. Ethan, the more sensitive of my brothers, or at least outwardly so, has pools of tears on his face, and Jake is standing next to him, both of their hands on my mother's shoulders. She looks cold. Even in the summer, she wears slippers around the house. I tried to argue with her one particularly sweltering summer. Maybe it's low blood circulation, Ma. You have to start wearing those really tight socks that old men wear to keep it flowing. No, I've always been like this. I just have cold blood, she said. I call my sister again. No answer, but her and Dad burst through the wide oak double doors at the same moment and jog over to our curtained-off room. I've never seen my father run before, not once that I could remember, although I'm sure he used to run with us as kids. But he has bad knees and he's out of shape. To see him run felt like he was someone else's father, and this was someone else's scenario. It seems like it shouldn't be you, but not only that it shouldn't be you, it isn't you. Even as it's happening, you still think it can't possibly be happening. So the tears that come out of your eyes are an effect of the far recesses of your brain that somehow believe this is true and real. Why aren't there any McDreamy doctors to come hold our hands and reassure us of their expertise, of our mother's safety, of her life? I'm suddenly angry that these doctors and nurses aren't more attractive. We're here. We ran up like 7 flights of stairs. You did great, Shelby, Dad says, patting my sister on the shoulder. She's a bit damp on her forehead, but far less out of breath, her hands on her hips. She's taller than me, thin, but with the same lake-like curves as my mother. Her nose is pointed down as she stares at the floor. Dad is doubled over, catching his breath, and the male nurse comes back in. We have to take her now. Oh, okay. Dad walks toward her bed and kisses her forehead. We love you, honey. We love you. You're gonna do great. A cacophony of small, childlike voices began to sing, Bye, Mom. We'll see you soon. We love you. I release the metal rail as they pull her away through the obtrusive oak double doors. I want to tell her she's the light in the kitchen windows on spring mornings, and she's the reason I love books, and she's more beautiful than Juliana Margulies. A cloud of ruby hair disappears through the doors. The 5 of us are standing there staring. I don't feel anyone near me, no hands holding mine. I am one solid human standing very straight, holding up my own weight, which seems a difficult feat, as if gravity decided to up its game today. A few weeks after the successful liver transplant, she starts running a fever, and no doctor can understand why. Through all the tests and hands and tubes, no one can tell us anything. So she's staying for observation. This is my sophomore spring break. Shelby already has a plane ticket to Florida. My parents tell her to go. I pretend like I think she should go too. My dad tells me he's already taken too much time off work. My brothers are only 17. For 2 weeks, it was just me and Mom, day after day in the same room, Mom and I with nothing more than a hospital bed, a sofa chair, and a mounted TV, and in the corner sat the world's smallest shower toilet sink combo. The first night, after falling asleep to Friday Night Lights on my laptop, I hear a moan. I look to the bed and see the sheets moving, her feet trying to kick them off. Her moaning grows like an ache rising deep within her that surprised her, the way a baby can't tell you what's wrong and can only cry. Her moaning is turning into tears as I leap up from the plastic-covered chair. Mom, are you okay? Let me press the nurse button. Are you okay? I didn't want to press it until I got an answer. It's instinct. Wait for parental approval. No answer, just more moaning and writhing, wriggling around the bed, a childlike tantrum. Pain everywhere is what I imagine. There must be so much pain she can't speak. I move into the hallway and run toward the nurse's desk. Something is wrong with my mother. She's in pain. Unmoving, a woman with sandy-colored hair and ugly purple scrubs and red-framed glasses purses her lips. I'm sure she just needs more pain meds. I'll send someone in. She makes a phone call. A fucking phone call. She stays in her chair and uses the phone to get someone to come in. How is it that every person in the world isn't as concerned for this woman as me? Get up, bitch, help my mom, is what I want to yell in her face. But only a few seconds later, a different nurse jogs into my mother's room. I glance again at the red frames and run back toward the moaning. In 5 minutes, she's asleep again, the only noise coming from a beeping machine. I sit in the sofa chair and try to close my eyes. I think I hear the moaning and jolt awake. She's still asleep, her face scrunched up, creating bulldog-like wrinkles. She's asleep, but not comfortable. I pull out my laptop and choose Friends this time, since I've seen every episode. I know how they all end. I know what happens to the characters, I know their beginnings and their plot lines, and I sometimes even know what they're about to say, all within the confines of 30 minutes. I gaze up and my mother's red hair folds into the pillowcase. Her body, her hair, her breathing, all making mountains and hills in the bed. If I look at her for too long, I'll want to lay with her, and there isn't enough room. A bed only meant for one landscape. I put in earbuds and try and focus on Monica yelling at Chandler. But it's funny to me because I know that they'll get engaged in this episode. I know what they will say to each other. I'll watch them cry, and I will only smile. Sometimes I still go into her room and hug her while she's asleep. 5 years after her surgery, and I still check on her, but only sometimes, just for a moment, just without waking her. I smell her ruby hair and put her cheek on mine. She breathes in deep and rolls over.